नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna, Hare Hare,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes. So anyone remembers last session में हमने क्या डिस्कस किया था?
Assured victory.
Yes, that was the topic. इसमें क्या हमने डिस्कस किया
Yes.
था? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We
Hare
discussed
Krishna.
about the confusion in the mind of Arjuna, either to be conquered or to conquer. So it's actually a confusion stage of mind where he is ascertaining himself whether to fight or to conquer them. And second is that he is asking for instructions to come out of this confusion from Lord himself. So he is totally surrendered now.
Yes. Arjuna, out of confusion, whether to conquer them or being conquered by them, which is good or which is bad. Both the situation, he was like, it is loss only. There is no win-win situation. There is no win-lose situation. There is no lose-win situation. There is a lose-lose situation. So he was very much confused, and out of confusion and out of his all this grief, lamentation, he surrendered to Krishna. And what he is saying, he is telling Nishchitam Dhruvitam Meham. Please tell me what is definite good. Nishchitam, what is 100% good for me? What is absolute good for me? That you please guide me. This is what Arjuna is asking to Krishna. Now today we'll start 8th verse. We start with the 8th verse. All of you please join me in chanting this verse. Nahi ham parishyami mamunupadyad yashokamuchashnam indriyanam avapya bhumav aspatanam ridram rajyam suranam api chadipatyam. Yes. कोई चैंट करना चाहेगा श्लोक को? Anyone would like to try chant this shloka? कोई और ट्राई करना चाहेगा? Anyone else would like to try? Okay, translation. I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to destroy it even if I win an unrivaled kingdom on the earth with the sovereignty like that of the demigods in the heaven. So here, Arjuna is telling, I do not find any mean to dry away this grief, lamentation, the sadness, and this kind of confusion, this kind of grief is drying up my senses. When we are sad, when we are in grief, dukh hai bahut zyada, what happens? We feel as though our senses are getting dry. Our senses are getting dry. I will not be able to destroy it. This kind of grief, Arjuna is telling, I will not be able to destroy, even though I get the unrivaled kingdom. What do we mean by unrivaled kingdom here? These Pandavas, till the end of Dwapar Yuga, the entire this Prithvi was ruled by one emperor. So till Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjuna, these Pandavas. So till that time, this entire earth, Prithvi, was ruled by one emperor. And there was no such kingdom in the entire existence on the entire globe, Prithvi. So Arjuna, who is going to be the king of the entire such planet, Prithvi, this globe, he is telling, even if I win such an unrivaled kingdom, there is no such a kingdom in the entire globe. That kingdom is also will not be able to drive away my grief. And that kingdom is, Arjuna is comparing that to the level of demigods, Swarga. Arjuna is comparing that even such Rajya, such kingdom, Rajyam Suranam api Chadipatyam. Even I get this kingdom is not ordinary kingdom, it is as good as high as opulent as that of the demigods in the heaven. Even this such opulence, such kingdom will not be able to destroy my grief. And when this grief is there, will not be peaceful, always will be full of anxiety. पूरा चिंता में रहेंगे, anxious रहेंगे. So such grief always eats away the real self. We face the issues such as existential crisis. Just like Arjuna, previous verse we saw, he was ready to even beg. भीख मांगने के लिए भी ready था. He was ready to leave his kingdom and go and beg. So such existential crisis one face when he is going through grief. We'll read further purport, very interesting and various things to learn. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master, Lord Shri Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence, and it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can only be given by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is bona fide a spiritual master, for he can solve the problems of life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna conscious, regardless of his social position, is the real spiritual master. Iva Vipra Kripa Nayasi Shudra Kena Naya Yei Krishna Tattvas Vitta Sei Guru Haya. If it does not matter whether a person is a Vipra, learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is master in the science of Krishna, he is perfect and bona fide spiritual master. So without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. So here, very important thing from this we can understand that even though one may have good academic knowledge, good scholarship, high position, name, fame in the society, if all these problems are not able to solve the problems of our life, all these opulences, cannot solve our problem of life, then it is useless. If such things cannot drive away our grief, such name, fame, knowledge, position, wealth, all these are useless. All these things are useless. There is a very nice verse in this connection. It comes in one of the scripture, that is Bhagavad Bhakti Inasya Jati Shastra Japas Tapas Aprana hai Dehasya Mandanam Loka Ranjanam. If even though we may have got Jati means good family, good kula, good lineage. Our forefather, they are very good, well established. Jati Shastra, we are very learned, we are very knowledgeable. We have got all different kind of knowledge in different various fields. Tapas, we are very austere. We have performed various kind of tapasya in our life. If all these things are not able to give us Bhagavad Bhakti Hinnasya, means there is no Bhagavad Bhakti, even doing tapasya, getting good birth, being a scholar, all these things, even one that does not develop bhakti, devotion for the God, for the Bhagwan, this is as good as decorating the dead body. Aprana hai dehasya loka ranjanam mandanam. Mandanam loka ranjanam. It is as good as decorating the dead body. Why it is compared with dead body? If you see a dead body has lose all the glamour or all kind of glow. There is no glow in that dead body, that person. There is no glow. How much ever you may decorate that person, that glow will be missing. Just like a living person, there is always some kind of aura or some kind of glow one can experience. But in a dead person, it is very difficult. Whatever you may do, best of the artist or person who does the makeup, who decorates that body, it will not please. Same way, here Arjuna is also telling that what is the use of such kingdom? Even if I will unrivaled kingdom, what is the use? I will not be able to destroy my grief even I in the unrivaled kingdom. So how one can solve the problems of life? How one can solve the problem of life? Just like Arjuna has shown here, by surrendering to a spiritual master, a bona fide guru. Who is a bona fide guru? Bona fide guru is the one who is 10% Krishna conscious. Brahmaji himself, he explained what is the qualification of a sadhu. He says, Prema jana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadeva hirdayeshu vilokayanti. Santa or a devotee is the one who is always carrying Krishna in his heart, whose eyes are always anointed with the love for Krishna. His eyes are always anointed with the love for Krishna. That person is known as Santa or a Sadhu. Such person is fit to become a spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. And such spiritual master can solve the problems of life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further affirms that. He confirms that a person who is a Krishna conscious, he is fit to become. Now, Further, a scholarly Brahmana expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. A very interesting thing. Who is a Vaishnava? Vaishnava is the one who is a devotee of Krishna or Vishnu. That person is known as a Vaishnava. Even though one may be expert in all Vedic knowledge, but he has not developed bhakti for the Lord, is not a Vaishnava. This cannot be considered a Vaishnava. And such person is not fit for becoming a guru or a spiritual master. He may be a scholarly in all Vedic knowledge. He may all the Shastras, very learned. But if the essence of a scripture is to develop bhakti for Krishna. Krishna says same thing in Bhagavad Gita. In further chapters, we'll see Krishna is saying, Vedasya sarver aham eva vedyo vedantakrit vedavid evam chaham. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. Whatever Vedas are there, all the Vedas, 4 Vedas, all the knowledge, from all these Vedas, the purpose of Vedas is to know me. Vedasya sarver aham eva vedyo. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. Vedantakrit vedavid evam chaham. I am the creator of all the Vedas. From me, all the Vedas originates. Now, further, the problem of material existence, birth, old age, death, disease and death cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth, economically developed, yet the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the constitute the science of Krishna or bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentation for family, social, national and or international inabilities, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of demigods in the heavenly planets would not be able to drive away his lamentation. He sought therefore refuge in Krishna consciousness. That is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysm of material nature. Even elevation into a higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking a place on moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Shinye Punya Mrityam Lokam Vishanti. When the result of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lower status of life. Many politicians of the world have now fallen down in that way. Such fall downs only constitute more cause for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely. That is the way of Krishna consciousness. The very nice thing is mentioned here, that if we see the problems in our life, sum and woman of all the problems, जो सारे problems है, जो सारा perplexities है हमारी life में, that comes to birth, old age, death and disease. जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि. that it comes down to all these four kinds of miseries. So such miseries, if we see, cannot be counteracted by wealth, all sort of economic development. All such things are not going to help in solving these problems. Even the greatest of the nations, which are fully equipped with all such facilities. Recently, we saw during this epidemic, coronavirus, how great nations like US, various other European countries, they were unable to tackle such situations. They were unable to face such situations, save their citizens, even though they have very economically, they are very stable, they have very high wealth, everything is there, all the resources are there, but still they are not able to counteract such things. Such a small virus, which is even not visible, entire globe virus, if we take, it will be hardly some gram. Such virus has created the havoc in the entire this human existence.
Yes.
No economic developmental wealth or any some name, fame, nothing was able to help give solace to the people. Even in some of the nations, more than this virus, people are getting mental problems because of lockdown. They were trapped inside their home. They became very disturbed, mentally disturbed, because they are not able to get socialized. Such problems of life, lamentation, cannot be solved by all these facilities. If all these facilities would have solved this kind of lamentation, grief, Arjuna would not have aspired for this. Arjuna first of all rejected this thing. Arjuna rejected this thing. And Krishna is telling that even Brahma Bhugnan Loke Punaravritano Arjuna, even there is no other place in the entire existence where one can save himself from such miseries. He will take birth, again he will fall down. So it will be continuous process, it will be going on. So what is the solution? What's the solution? Solution is to come out of this existence where there is a cycle of birth and death. When one can come out of this existence of cycle of birth and death, one can solve all the problems of his life. And how one has to come out of this cycle of birth and death? By taking a shelter of a bona fide guru, who is a Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna is eternal and we are his part and parcel. We are also eternal. But currently we are entrapped with the three modes of material nature. In this material existence, we have been entrapped by these three modes of material nature. So until and unless we overcome all these three modes of material nature, we cannot come out of this material world. Just like a person is there, he is trapped inside a swamp. Swamp means daldal. Daldal में फंसा हुआ है. Trapped inside a daldal. Daldal में फंसा हुआ है. Another person who is also in a daldal, that swamp, he cannot help him. Even though he may try, both will sink. दोनों उसमें अंदर धंसते चले जाएंगे. Who can save this person? The person who is standing outside this swamp. जो दलदल के बाहर खड़ा है, वो person इस person दूसरे person को help कर सकता है. That person can help him. Same way, we are trapped in this material modes of nature. Different modes we are trapped. Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, all these gunas are affecting us continuously. We are trapped by that. Whereas Krishna and his pure devotees are free from such trap of material nature. So they have that power to take us out of this material world, take us out of this three modes of material nature. By taking their shelter, just like Arjuna did, by taking their shelter, gradually will be overcome all these modes of material nature. So here some more things are there to understand. Especially if we see there are some qualities of Arjuna that we can observe. So far, you might have seen certain qualities of Arjuna. Anyone would like to share? कोई share करना चाहेगा अर्जुना की quality क्या-क्या quality हमने सुना, देखा, समझा? Yes, कोई share करेगा? कौन-कौन सा qualities अर्जुना का हमने सुना, देखा?
So first thing is Arjuna is non-envious.
Non-envious, yes.
And he completely believes in whatever Krishna is saying. So he is not having any kind of doubt. He has completely surrendered himself to Krishna.
Yes.
So in 7th verse, he completely surrenders and he says that I will follow you. Please.
Correct. Any other quality?
Prabhuji, he has the gunas of the demigods also, because he's concerned about the lively entities. He's concerned about the fate of the fight that is going to happen. He's concerned about the fate of the people who will die and who will win. He is also concerned about the future, what is going to be installed. Because शोक जो उसको आ रहा है, कि जो grief है, that is coming because he's thinking he's going to win this battle, and without his gurus and family friends, he will not be able to enjoy.
Correct. Yes.
So he's righteous, and he is in the higher planets also.
So very nice. As you mentioned, one thing is Arjuna, he is having qualities such as compassion, quality as a shared, has a faith in Krishna. He has complete faith in Krishna. That is one of the highest quality. Another quality he is having is he is a devotee of Krishna. He is a great devotee. Another quality is he is very enlightened. He is full of knowledge. Recently we saw how such a great arguments he was presenting in front of Arjuna or Krishna. So he is very highly enlightened. He is free from enviousness. He is free from all jealousy. He is also detached. He has no such attachment for his kingdom. He is free from detachment. He is ready to even beg. And he is having control, sama, dama. He is having control over his mind and senses. Full control over his mind and senses. He is tolerant. Tolerant, how he is able to tolerant, even though these Atatainas, these aggressors, Duryodanas, Kauravas, they tried to insult they try to create a disturbance for these Pandavas. Still Arjuna is ready to forgive them. So he is a tolerant. All such qualities Arjuna is having. So next verse we'll read. Text 9. Sanjay Vacha Evamukva Rishikesham Gudakesha Parantapah Nayotsya iti Govindam Utva Tushnim Bahu. Translation. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. We read purport also. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjay disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies, Parantapa. Although Arjuna was for the time being overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. So here, Sanjaya is addressing Krishna as a Rishikesha, Arjuna as a Gudakesha and Parantapa, and Krishna also as a Govinda. So why Sanjaya is mentioning? So far, Arjuna here make it very clear that I am not going to fight. So it is clear. Here he is telling Govinda, I shall not fight. So Sanjay, when he is saying this to Dhritarashtra, so Dhritarashtra may feel very happy. Oh, now Arjuna is not going to fight. Sanjay has, disappointed or break his joyful this thing that no, he is a Parantapa. Arjuna is a Parantapa. He is a chastiser of enemy. Don't worry, he will fight because he is going to get guided by Govinda. Govinda is one who is a knower of everything. Govinda also meaning he gives pleasure to all the living entities. Cows. So, one of the meaning of Govinda is he is knower of everything. And this Govinda, who is also known as Rishikesha, controller of the senses, has complete control over the senses of Arjuna. And this Govinda is soon going to guide Arjuna, drive away his lamentation, his grief. उसका lamentation और grief है, he is going to drive away. And again, Arjuna is going to prepare for the fighting. Again, Arjuna is going to prepare for the fighting. That's why Sanjay is addressing here Arjuna as a Parantapa. Even though he has decided not to fight, but soon Krishna is going to enlighten him. Soon Krishna is going to guide him. So just like Arjuna has this quality of compassion, he is a great devotee of the Lord. We don't want to create unnecessary disturbance in the society. We don't want to create unnecessary killing, all such things he don't want. He don't want such kingdom which is tainted by the blood of great souls. Similarly, there was one great devotee during the time of Ramayana. There was a great devotee known as Shabri. Many of you might have heard her story. But how she became a great devotee, what was her journey? Basically, she was a daughter of a hunter. And in the community where she was staying, living, was known as Vishada community. They are like nomads, Banjaras, like that. So, when she was young, her marriage was fixed, and in her marriage, lot of animals were gathered, were accumulated to kill and serve their flesh, their mass to the guests, because that is the luxury, opulence that this Vishada community or the hunter they enjoy. So his father wanted to give all such luxury for his daughter's marriage. So seeing this, Shabri became overwhelmed that for my marriage, these thousands of animals, living entities are going to kill. She ran away from the house. When she ran away from the house, it was forest area. She approaches various sages, but no one is ready to help her because of her lower caste. Because she belongs to the lower caste, most of the sages were not at all ready to help her. So she approached. There is a famous rishi known as Matanga Rishi. He stay near to Hampi, that Parvata. So she approached to that rishi who was a great devotee of the Lord. She approached him and asked for shelter. So this great devotee, this rishi, Matanga Rishi, was free from all these material conception. He was a liberated soul. So he gave her shelter, and engaged in the service of the Lord. Every day she used to prepare some bhoga naivedya for the Lord, washing the vessels, cleaning the ashrama. In all such activities, she was serving this rishi known as Matanga Rishi. And she accepted this rishi as a guru, as his guru, and she was very sincerely serving her guru. And this Matang Rishi was very old, and when he was on his deathbed, this Matang Rishi instructed this Shabri that soon, very soon, one day, Lord Ram will come, and you have to guide him. He will come in search of his wife Sita. You have to guide him. And after just speaking these words, he left his body. So this Shabri, he forgot to ask which day, when Lord Ram will come. So she has no clue, no information when Lord Ram is going to come. So what she did, she started every day decorating the ashrama as though some important guest is going to come, decorating with the flowers, making rangolis, offering, having some foods, all these things she started. That time she was very young. So every day she is doing this because her spiritual master, Matang Rishi, has ordered. But she don't know which day. So years passed by. She became old. When she became old, that time Lord Ram came. And as we all know, she became very full of ecstasy, full of bhava. When she saw Lord Ram, she welcomed him. And as mother feeds the child, same way she is also feeding Lord Ram. Oh, he should not get this berry bear she was serving. It should not be khatta. It should not be, too this thing, salty, this, that, like that. She was tasting and serving him different kind of fruits and berries. So such is the qualification of the great devotees. They don't want other living entity should be in trouble, should be in chaos, should be in any kind of violence. Same way Arjuna, he is also showing his compassion. Now moving towards next verse. तमुवाच ऋषिकेश परहंस इव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषिदन्तम् इदम् उवचः. A descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both armies, he spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. Here, Krishna, when Arjuna he surrendered to Krishna, Krishna is passing his smile. And he started speaking to this grief-stricken Arjuna. We read this purport. The talk was going between intimate friends, namely Rishikesha and the Gudakesha. As friends, both of them were on the same level. But one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as the master of everyone, and yet Lord accepts one who wishes to be his friend. A son, a lover, or a devotee, and who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as the master, he at once assumed the roles and talked with the disciple like the master with gravity, as it is required. It appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies so that all were benefited. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society, or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally enlightened to hear. So very interesting thing here in the purport. So far we saw how Arjuna was talking to Krishna. He was even, arguing with Krishna. He was, giving command to Krishna, giving order to Krishna that take my chariot, take my ratha between both the armies. Let me see who has come to fight. In that way, he is addressing Krishna. So all such different ways their talks are going on. As a friend, as a master, Arjuna is treating, because Krishna got ready to become a chariot driver for his friend. So in different ways, Arjuna is, talking with Krishna. So now Arjuna, he has surrendered to Krishna. Shishyastam ham sadimam tam ham prapannam. I have accepted you as my master. Please guide me. Like that Arjuna is telling. So when Arjuna surrenders to Krishna, Krishna is passing his smile. Just like a child who is acting very foolishly, father passes his smile. Same way Krishna is passing his smile. Krishna is passing his smile to Arjuna because Arjuna has accepted him as a master. So far, Krishna was the servant. He was a chariot driver of Arjuna. But now Arjuna has surrendered to Krishna because Arjuna is bewildered, is disturbed by the material perplexities. Same way, many times people, after reading Bhagavad Gita, they say, see how Krishna is boasting himself. How he is boasting himself. So Krishna, in this verse we can understand that Krishna doesn't want all this power, all this supremacy. He don't want. He is happy to become a servant of his devotees. Just like Arjuna, he became chariot driver for Mother Yashoda. He is her son. Mother Yashoda, she is with the stick she is beating Krishna. All that thing is, he is very happy. But those who are disturbed by these material perplexities, by the modes of material nature, they are entangled in these modes of material nature. Krishna is ready to accept the position as a master so that he can enlighten them. He can enlighten them. Just like a mother or a father, they are ready to beat their child. Just imagine that father or mother, how nicely they take care of the child. They feed the child, they clean up the child. All these things they do for their child. But when it is required, they are ready to beat their child also. Why? Because they are the well-wisher. They are the well-wisher of the child. Not like they want to kill their child. They are the well-wisher of their child. They want the well-being of their child. They are ready to even beat their child, correct him. Same way, Krishna is happy to become a son, become a friend of all the living entities. He is even telling in Bhagavad Gita, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the well-wisher of all the living entities. Sarva Bhuta. Sarva means all living entities. I am the well-wisher. But I accept position as a master so that they can come out of this material world. They can come out of this material world. So such position also Krishna is ready to accept. And when such position Krishna accepts, just like Arjuna, he surrendered to Krishna. Now the conversation is going to be serious. Till now, Krishna, he was following the orders of Krishna. Arjuna. Krishna was following the orders of Arjuna. But now we'll see how the conversation between both of them will be very serious. So, till the time one accepts a spiritual master or Krishna as a supreme lord, Krishna does not interfere. Krishna does not interfere in anyone's life. Even though they are suffering, he is not at all bothered. He is not at all bothered. He is equal to everyone. But when one surrenders to Krishna, he personally takes care of that person. He is personally take care of that person. Just like a child. Suppose a child, he makes a sand castle. He makes a sand castle. मिट्टी का घर बनाता है. But a sea wave destroys that sand castle. So that child is full of grief. पूरा दुख हो जाता है. He's full of sadness. But his father, he passes the smile, knowing that this is unnecessary attachment of his child. He passes the smile. Same way, Krishna is passing the smile. Next verse 11. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asocena Navasocastvam Pragnavadam Sabhashase Matasuna Gatasun. 'Anu Sochita Pandita. 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 ' Now Krishna starts speaking. He is going to speak. What he is telling? The blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Very important instruction. First instruction, word of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So he is telling, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. And you are talking like a learned person. But you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Just like a person is there, he is driving the car very nicely, very carefully. He is driving on the road. Once he is stopped by a traffic police. So this traffic police is asking all various documents. Everything is perfect. Vehicle is perfect. All the rules, regulation, everything is following perfectly. Now, this traffic police, he asks that person, where are you going? He says, okay, go, but where are you going? This person, he says, I don't know. I'm driving this car. He says, okay, I understood you are driving this car nicely. Everything is okay, perfectly fine. But where are you going? Where is your destination? He said, that I don't know. You don't know your destination? Yes, sir, I don't know my destination. Just I am driving. So same way we see, Krishna is telling, you are speaking like a learned man. You are presenting all this Dharma Shastra. But you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Which is not at all meant to be, it is not like you are, for example, you are studying for the exam, you are giving your time to that topic which is not going to come in the exam. You are wasting your time in such topic which is not going to come in the exam. It is out of the syllabus. You are studying that. Same way Krishna is telling, you are speaking like a learned person, but you are mourning for what which is not worthy. Same way that this student, is wasting his entire time on studying what is not going to come in the exam. Same way Krishna is telling, you are speaking very learned, but you are mourning for what which is not worthy of grief. What is that? That we'll read in this purport. The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling me indirectly a fool. The Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. As it will be explained in the later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be even more important than politics or sociology. We do not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is even more important than religious formalities. And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born and is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned. For him, there is no cause for lamentation, regardless of the condition of the material body. So far, Arjuna, he was, arguing on the basis of Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra. He was showing how Dharma Shastra is even more important than sociology or politics, means Artha Shastra. But among all these Shastras, the science of the self is the topmost. The science of the self is topmost. He did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and supreme is even more important than any other or religious formularies. Even in Bhagavad Gita, further we'll see how Krishna says, among all the science, I am the science of the self. Among all the science, this science of the self is the topmost. What is that science of the self? The science which contains the knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme controller of everything, creator of everything. That is very important to understand. And this is the verse from which Krishna starts speaking about the Sankhya Yoga. From verse number 11 to verse number 30, Krishna will talk about the Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is the also known as Jnana Yoga, knowledge of the matter, spirit, that is known as Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. So Krishna will be talking about this. So this is the first verse of this Sankhya Yoga. This is the first verse. So Arjuna, he was lamenting for body which is destructible, which is going to destroy. He is lamenting for that body. And Krishna is telling there is something which is superior than this body, which is soul, you, your real self, which is indestructible. And it is, there is no reason for this indestructible because it cannot be destroyed. You should not lament for this. Whatever your condition might be, this body will remain, it may die, but you should not lament for your real self. So that is what will start in the next verse next class. So I think we are good for today. Any question or anything to share?
Prabhuji, this, when we talk about this 1.11, the shloka starts it. So we are talking about body and soul as separate entities. This is the jigyasa now.
Yeah. Please, can you repeat your question?
Is it the beginning to start to say that soul and body are two different entities? That is duality. Because most of the people talk about monolity. That's body and soul is same. Now it's the beginning that body and soul are two different things.
Yes. Yes. So question is from here. This thing is from this verse it's going to start, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So from this verse onwards, Krishna will establish how the soul is different from the body. How soul has different altogether. It is different from the body, and that soul, that spirit soul, is the real self. This body is made up of panchabhutas, different elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether, all these different elements. Whereas soul is eternal, is made from Satchidananda, is completely spiritual.
Then in the 1.10 and 1.10 we talked about the punya karmas. I mean, जैसे हमारे कर्मों का फल पूरा हो जाएगा, हम वापस मृत्यु लोक में आ जाएंगे.
Yes.
So that means that life and birth and cycle is going to be a part of your parcel of life. Unless you come out totally out of it, then only you can be with Krishna. Is this means that?
Yes. So basically, there are two things. One thing is punya, one is papa. Papa means sin that you have committed, you will get a reaction for that. And against papa, what is the reaction? There is a suffering. Against punya, good activities, good deeds that we do in our life, what reaction for that punya is, you get enjoyment in your life. You get certain enjoyment. So here Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Shina punya martyam lokam vishanti. Once our this punya is over, when we have such punya, we go to Swarga Loka, heavenly planets. We attain such heavenly planets. So once Shine means destroyed, once this punya is over, finished, we again come back to fall down to this Mritya Loka, which is this earthly planet. We again fall down into this earthly planet. So this cycle keep going on. Once certain papa is there, some punya is there, we enjoy, we suffer, all this again birth and death cycle is going on. So one Krishna further in the Bhagavad Gita will read, Krishna tells one has to even come out of this cycle of papa punya and this birth and death. One has to even transcend this punya, one has to become free from punya, so that one can go back to Godhead, one can go into the spiritual world, one can attain the spiritual world.
Now, in the first, and prior to this, there is this sansar ki samasya hai. Janam jara vidhi tada mrityu ye nitya. So this, all four are certain, whether in this living form or any living form. Now, during this living, with these four stages, you do some punya karmas or the pap karmas, whatever you do, you face the, then you get the fruits of that karmas or the fruits or the dushkarmas, whatever you get because of that. Now, if you have to come out of this cycle, again you have to surrender Krishna. Now, if you want to remain on the heavenly bodies or heavenly bada loka, जैसे उच्च लोक जिसे कहते हैं, वहां पे भी अगर आप रहना तब भी कृष्णा. So when everything starts from Krishna and ends from Krishna, then why are to come back, suffer in this Mrityu Loka?
It is because of our desire. Just like suppose a child is there, he want to be independent of his father. He says, no, I will earn by myself. I will enjoy. I don't want I don't want to stay in your home. So even though that child is rebellious, there will be always suffering is there, because that child has made his choice. He has desired that. Same way, our desire, further Arjuna is asking this question. Further in Bhagavad Gita, we'll see this. Arjuna is asking the same question. What is the cause of all these things? So Krishna says, the tendency to enjoy. I want to enjoy. I want enjoyment for myself. Such desire always cause this bondage. And such desire, how one gets such desire? Krishna is telling, out of lust, one get such desire. And how one get lust? By associating with the Rajoguna. Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava. One get Kama and Krodha from Rajoguna. So when one get association from Rajoguna, he gets lust. And when he get lust, he get desire to enjoy independently. When he gets such a desire, he don't want Krishna in his life. You will see many people, even though you go and tell, simply, you just tell simple thing, chant this Hare Krishna mantra. I don't have time, I'm busy, this, that. They even don't recognize Krishna. There are many people who are very opulent. They don't accept the supremacy of the Lord. They tell, I am only God, मैं ही हूँ भगवान, जो हूँ मैं ही करता हूँ, मेरे पैसे से सब कुछ होता है. So all that things we develop when we has a desire or when we has a tendency to enjoy independent of Krishna. Because of that, we get entangled in this. Again, this papa, punya, karma bandhana, we get entangled.
Prabhu, then I was reading the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. There is one, I'm just reading third line. Is प्रकृति 3 गुणों से निर्मित है, सतोगुण, रजोगुण, तमोगुण. इन गुणों से ऊपर नित्य काल है. Now इससे ऊपर भी एक काल है, मतलब there is even higher loka than this.
Yes, there is a even higher guna, or there is a even higher thing above all these three modes. These three modes are the product of this material nature. ये जो भौतिक संसार है, material manifestation है, उसके प्रोडक्ट है ये तीन गुणा। क्या है वो तीन गुणा? रजोगुणा, तमोगुणा, सतोगुणा। अब इससे ऊपर क्या है? स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड है। above this material world there is a spiritual world, and spiritual world is full of enjoyment, bliss, eternity. There is no suffering. It has such enormous opulence. Now that spiritual world, how one can attain? When one is free from these three gunas, ये जो तीन गुना है उसे ओवरकम कर लेता है, ट्रांसडेंस कर लेता है. He overcomes all these three gunas. And what is that? That is transcendental nature. When one goes to that para prakriti, one transcends this material nature. ये जो material nature है इसे ट्रांसडेंस कर लेता है, शुद्ध सत्व गुणों को इन्वोक कर लेता है. ट्रांसेंडेंटल नेचर, then he can enter into the spiritual world. He can become free from these three modes of material nature. ये जो तीन modes हैं, रजोगुणा, तमोगुणा, सतोगुणा, इससे फ्री हो सकता है.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Any other question or anything to ask or share? श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna.